The Mary Celeste. In December 1872, the crew of the Dei Gratia, a British merchant ship that had set sail from New York, spotted another ship drifting in the Atlantic Ocean. The Dei Gratia's captain was surprised to see that the ship was the Mary Celeste, which had left New York weeks earlier and should have already arrived at its intended destination in Italy. He sent some of his men to investigate, but they found nobody aboard the Mary Celeste. However, the crew's belongings remained, the ship's cargo of industrial alcohol was still present, and there were plentiful supplies of food and water. The ship was undamaged, although there was some seawater in its cargo hold. Hoping to gain a financial reward for salvaging the deserted ship, the Dei Gratia's crew sailed the Mary Celeste to Gibraltar and handed it over to British authorities there. After finding the Mary Celeste drifting at sea, the crew of the Dei Gratia, 1. gave supplies of water and food to the Mary Celeste's crew to prevent them from dying before reaching Italy. 2. repaired the damage to the Mary Celeste, which was then able to continue its journey to Italy. 3. contacted British authorities in Gibraltar, who came to salvage the Mary Celeste. 4. took the Mary Celeste to Gibraltar because they thought they could make money by doing so. No trace of the Mary Celeste's crew has ever been found, and there has been much speculation about what happened. One popular theory was that the ship was attacked by pirates, who murdered the crew and threw them overboard. This was rejected, however, since pirates generally stayed away from the area because British naval ships often patrolled there. Furthermore, the ship's cargo had not been stolen. Another theory was that vapors from the alcohol the Mary Celeste was carrying caused an explosion that forced the crew to leave the ship. However, the Dei Gratia's crew found no damage on the Mary Celeste that supported this idea. What is true according to the passage? 1. British authorities suspected that the crew of the Dei Gratia stole the Mary Celeste's cargo and killed its crew. 2. The Dei Gratia's crew refused to board the Mary Celeste at first because they believed its cargo was too dangerous. 3. It is unlikely that pirates attacked the Mary Celeste because it was unusual for them to operate where the ship was discovered. 4. Evidence found on the Mary Celeste suggests that damage to the ship was caused by an explosion. To try and shed some light on the Mary Celeste mystery, documentary maker Anne McGregor analyzed transcripts of the ship's log and official reports written in Gibraltar at the time. McGregor now believes the ship was abandoned a few miles from the Azores island of Santa Maria 10 days before it was discovered by the Dei Gratia. She also found evidence that the ship's water pump had become blocked and its chronometer, which was a vital piece of navigational equipment, had been faulty. As a result, the Mary Celeste's captain would have been unsure of the ship's position and unable to remove seawater from the cargo hold. McGregor thinks that these issues, combined with the fact that the Mary Celeste had experienced rough seas the day before, would have been enough to make the captain resort to sacrificing the ship in order to ensure his crew's safety. The question of why the crew never made it to Santa Maria remains unanswered, however. What did Anne McGregor conclude based on her investigation? 1. The mystery of what happened to the Mary Celeste would never be solved because official reports contain little information about the incident. 2. Several factors led to the Mary Celeste's captain deciding he had no choice but to get his crew off the ship. 3. The crew of the Mary Celeste likely escaped to Santa Maria to avoid being blamed for abandoning the ship. 4. Records of the Mary Celeste's discovery were altered in order to cover up what really happened.